Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. What does Carter's chair say about Hope turned on? Carter Walton and Hope Logan are shown at the main office of Bold and the Beautiful, where she gestures for him to have a seat in his new Forrester Creations chair, which he will use for the time being on the CBS soap opera. The writing is on the wall, though, when the sultry music eventually creeps in. Spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful: is power alluring to Logan? Hope Logan in Bold and the Beautiful needs Carter Walton in order to reimburse Steffi Forrester. Carter's plan for this takeover is to implement his ideas, which the Forresters have already rejected. Hope Logan, Bold and the Beautiful. However, FC's disrespectful employee culture must also end. Thus, it appears that they both support the takeover for the same reason. To anyone who will listen, Hope and Carter freely declare their lives for one another today. However, spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful currently indicate that Rich Forrester will stop at nothing to end that union. Therefore, another emotion appeared to creep in when all the finger-pointing had stopped and they were by themselves. The idea of Carter Walton working in the head office seemed to turn Hope Logan on. Slowly moving her hands over the chair Carter would be sitting in, she signaled this. Then she motioned for him to have a seat in it. However, they are unable to separate their hands when the music begins. Spoilers for B&B: is Carter Walton in complete denial? Carter Walton of Bold and the Beautiful thinks Hope Logan supports him in his intentions to lead the business. Even while she claims to do so, it's impossible to avoid thinking if her sole motivation for pursuing the takeover was to get to Steffi Forrester. Carter thinks that by revealing his plans, Ridge and Eric Forrester are committing a grave error. He believes that they are not acting in FC's best interests. What Carter considers a success is turning the business into a massive luxury conglomerate. However, this is unacceptable to Ridge and Eric Forrester, two of the family members who own the business. They want FC to become the best dressmaker in the world. And they simply wish to conquer this region of the planet. Spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful: do the Forresters have the right idea about Carter and Hope? Fans of Bold and the Beautiful are still wondering why Carter Walton has the audacity to believe he is more knowledgeable than Eric and Ridge. According to some fans, it's Hope Logan who fueled a revenge plot after noticing his excitement about his scheme. Thus, assuming this is true, Carter is unaware of how Hope swung her plan onto his. Hope could take advantage of this by encouraging Carter to pursue his dream. This could indicate that she intends to take advantage of him, as suggested by Ridge and Steffi Forrester. The idea of having power in their hands then appeared to turn Hope Logan on this week when she and Carter were together themselves in the top honcho's office. On the CBS soap opera, it seemed to raise Carter Walton's romance thermometer to an extremely high level, so he followed suit. According to early spoilers for the week of December 16th to 20th, 2024, on The Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge Forrester loses power as Hope Logan revels in the takeover victory. Brooke Logan will be upset at Ridge next week. On the CBS serial series, Hope keeps defending Carter Walton's acquisition of Forrester Creations. Bold and Beautiful has been deceived by them. According to B&B spoilers, Steffi and Eric Forrester declined to assist. Ridge, his father, and his daughter will not give anything to the intruders. Carter failing and blaming Hope on Bold and the Beautiful is what they're all waiting for. Check out Soap Dirt's Belinda's analysis of these B&B spoilers for early next week. Justin Barber continues to make false claims about the Forresters' inability to defend themselves. Regarding the actions of Carter and Hope Logan on Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge Forrester most certainly needs a second viewpoint. See Remy Price begin his evil scheme to get Electra Forrester. That implies that Will Spencer might be in danger shortly. Next week, Ridge and Hope's conflict intensifies. In The Bold and the Beautiful, the tension rises as Carter Walton takes charge and brings back hope for the future while Brooke Logan vehemently defends her daughter, Hope Logan, against Ridge Forrester's charges. The drama is broken into as follows. Ever the watchful mother, Brooke Logan confronts Ridge about his critical remarks about Hope. Ridge charges Hope of helping Carter carry out his purported plan to take over Forrester Creations. But Brooke retaliates, exposing Ridge's blind spots and misplaced faith. Brooke fervently upholds Hope's moral character, contending that her daughter has been unjustly vilified. She maintains that Carter's engagement is motivated by common objectives rather than malevolent intent and that Hope is committed to HFTF's success. Ridge is divided as a result of his inability to reconcile Carter's allegiance with the recent events. Brooke's misgivings about Hope and Carter persist in spite of his scathing retorts, particularly given their increasing intimacy. Carter Walton takes a bold step in the midst of the confusion by restoring HFTF, solidifying Hope's place at Forrester Creations. The action creates questions among the Forresters but also shows Carter's dedication to Hope and the brand. As her beloved fashion line is granted another shot, Hope's relief is evident. Her appreciation for Carter deepens their friendship and feeds rumors about them. Ridge and Steffi are offended by Carter's choice because they see it as a planned power move. Carter's attempt to consolidate his power is perceived by some as the reason for the HFTF's reactivation, further dividing the family. The Forrester family's already existing divisions are exacerbated by the restoration of HFTF, which could further splinter their bond. Ever the pragmatic, Steffi cautions that Carter's action is a calculated ploy to obtain advantage. She continues to be suspicious of Carter's intentions and doubts Hope's judgment. Between his commitment to his family and his persistent misgivings about Carter's motivations, Ridge finds himself at odds with both Brooke and Steffi. Carter and Hope's relationship strengthens while Brooke and Ridge's marriage encounters fresh challenges, paving the way for additional drama. Will Ridge accept Brooke's viewpoint, or will her marriage become even more strained as a result of her defense of Hope? Will Carter's audacious tactics backfire and cause more upheaval, or can they fortify HFTF without alienating the Forresters? Hope's role: will Hope's success with HFTF strengthen her bond with Steffi or ease family tensions? The lines of battle are drawn, with Ridge and Brooke at odds over ambition, loyalty, and family harmony. Will the Forresters become closer or more apart as a result of this personal and professional upheaval? Keep an eye out. As Carter and Hope take risks and the Forrester family prepares for the consequences of their high-stakes business and personal conflicts, the drama on The Bold and the Beautiful heats up. Here's a closer examination of the power dynamics at play. Hope Logan and Carter Walton are making their way up the Forrester Creations corporate ladder. Despite the personal overtones in their connection, their career goals pose a threat to the company's stability. Hope's steadfast trust in Carter's ability to lead and Carter's will to take charge could have disastrous results. Hope's transformation from visionary in fashion to corporate strategist demonstrates a renewed sense of commitment. She's fed up with Ridge and Steffi undervaluing her, as seen by her alignment with Carter. Carter was once a devoted supporter of the Forresters, but his increasing ambition causes him to clash with Ridge and Steffi. His audacious actions hint at a power struggle that might tip the scales in the organization's leadership. The Forrester family is tense as they consider loyalty, treachery, and the continuation of their legacy. As allegations fly and alliances change, it becomes harder to distinguish between professional and personal allegiance. Brooke's unwavering conviction that Carter is guilty clashes with Ridge's unwavering support for him. In addition to endangering their marriage, this conflict exposes Ridge's weakness in the face of Carter's potential treachery. Even though Steffi is totally committed to protecting Forrester Creations, her actions can unintentionally drive Hope and Carter even more toward disobedience. As trust declines, her position as co-CEO is under jeopardy. A lighter, but no less intriguing, subplot is provided by Elektra's increasing visibility in Los Angeles and her developing relationship with Remy Price. Although Remy's intentions are still unknown, Elektra's unresolved feelings are stirred by his arrival. Will Spencer and Ivy Forrester's worry for Elektra, meanwhile, suggests unspoken secrets. Corporate fallout: Carter's intentions may cause a dramatic change in the composition of Forrester Creations' executive team. Ridge and Steffi may experience both personal and professional shame if he and Hope are successful. Romantic entanglements: Hope and Carter's increasing closeness poses a threat to their career goals. Their romance might rock their families and the business if it were made public. The stakes have never been higher as corporate machinations, love intrigue, and power struggles collide. Will Hope and Carter's alliance destroy the family and the business, or will the Forresters manage to stay together? The fight for Forrester Creations is far from done, that much is certain. What do you think will happen to the Forresters' tenacity and Carter and Hope's goals? With the formation of an unusual alliance between Hope Logan and Carter Walton, the long-dominant Ridge Forrester and his daughter Steffi have drastically changed the power dynamics at Forrester Creations. The future of Forrester Creations is in jeopardy as a result of this strategic takeover, which was previously thought to be outside the company's primary decision-making process. What started out as a straightforward attempt to save Hope for the future has turned into a corporate takeover, exposing friendships, conflicts, and secrets. The Forrester family is affected by Hope and Carter's actions, which test allegiances and upend long-standing customs inside the illustrious fashion enterprise. Hope Logan, the brains behind HFTF, and Carter Walton, the company's lawyer who has risen through the ranks to wield unexpected authority, are at the center of this takeover. When Steffi and Ridge chose to stop sponsoring HFTF because of declining profits, Hope, who has always been an ardent supporter of her line's emphasis on sustainability and ethical fashion, found herself in a precarious position. Hope was heartbroken by their choice because the line embodied both her personal and professional ideals. Carter intervened during this vulnerable time by providing more than just legal counsel. Carter, who had frequently been left out of the company's leadership conversations, saw a chance to not just stand by Hope but also to take a seat at the table where actual power was used. Hope and Carter's collaboration started out as a joint attempt to save HFTF, but soon grew into something much more. Carter found governance flaws in Forrester Creations by using his in-depth knowledge of the company's legal and financial framework. Carter stealthily started to consolidate power while Steffi concentrated on growing her status as co-CEO and Ridge was consumed by his tumultuous relationship with Brooke. He formed partnerships with important stakeholders and staff members who were fed up with the internal conflicts and propensity of the Forrester family to put personal drama ahead of company strategy. Hope, on the other hand, rallied support for the reinstatement of HFTF by using her creative genius and sincere connection with the design team to persuade many people in the firm that the line's revival was crucial to Forrester's future. Carter's discovery of a flaw in the company's bylaws that permitted important managerial decisions to be made without the board's unanimous consent was the turning point. Equipped with this understanding, he and Hope created a plan to reorganize the leadership structure of Forrester Creations in addition to restoring HFTF. Their plan called for a power shift that would give Carter and Hope more significant decision-making responsibilities while reducing the influence of Ridge and Steffi. Despite its boldness, this approach was well-timed. The Forresters were involved in personal disputes, Steffi was preoccupied with her own marital problems with Finn, while Ridge was managing his tumultuous relationship with Brooke. Because of these diversions, Carter and Hope were able to submit their plan to the board without encountering any immediate opposition. Tensions were evident when the board met to debate the idea. Surprised at the extent of Carter and Hope's scheme, Ridge and Steffi accused them of treachery. Given their long-standing relationship and professional camaraderie, Ridge in particular felt that Carter's actions were a personal slight. Hope's involvement infuriated him just as much, as he saw it as another example of Brooke's power overtaking his family's heritage. Steffi, however, believed the action was a deliberate attempt by Hope to discredit her as co-CEO. As accusations flew and tempers flared, the board meeting turned into a furious altercation. Carter and Hope maintained their composure in the face of the mayhem and made a compelling case for why their approach was not just advantageous but also essential to the company's existence. Throughout the conference, Carter's legal knowledge was quite helpful. With clear reasoning, he destroyed Ridge's and Steffi's concerns, pointing out that a change was required due to the company's deteriorating performance under their direction. Hope, on the other hand, made an emotional plea to the board by highlighting her steadfast dedication to Forrester Creations and its principles. She spoke fervently about the value of innovation, inclusion, and sustainability, elements that HFTF exemplified and which she felt were essential to the company's expansion in a market that was becoming more and more competitive. Many board members were moved by her speech, especially those who had become disenchanted with the Forrester family's internal strife taking precedence over the company's goals. The board ultimately approved Carter and Hope's plan, which resulted in a dramatic change in the balance of power within Forrester Creations. Both the Forrester family and the corporation were rocked by the decision. Steffi withdrew to consider her next course of action, while Ridge, embarrassed and furious, decided to strike back. As expected, Brooke took Hope's side and commended her daughter's bravery and foresight. Even Brooke, though, was surprised by Carter's ambition, which suggested a degree of calculating she had not expected. Carter justified his actions, saying they were a necessary intervention to prevent infighting and stagnation within the corporation. He maintained that under his and Hope's direction, Forrester Creations would enter a new period of stability and innovation, free from the personal dramas that had long dogged the company. The atmosphere at Forrester Creations changed drastically as Hope and Carter took on their new roles. Some workers who had previously supported Ridge and Steffi publicly welcomed the shift, while others were forced to reconsider their loyalty. Hope quickly brought HFTF back to life by revealing a daring new collection that received a lot of praise. In the meanwhile, Carter instituted structural changes meant to promote cooperation and streamline operations. Their efforts paid off right away, as the company's morale and productivity skyrocketed. But there was a price for the success. Ridge and Steffi saw Hope and Carter's acts as a betrayal that could never be forgiven, further widening the divide among the Forrester family. Hope and Carter both experienced personal repercussions after the takeover. Their business relationship, which had been developed in the furnace of hardship, started to have love overtones. The boundaries between work and personal life were blurred by late evenings spent planning and rejoicing in successes, which made them wonder about the nature of their connection. Tensions within the Forrester family increased when suspicions of an affair started to circulate, despite Hope's insistence that their relationship was solely professional. Despite acknowledging Hope's career accomplishments, Brooke privately voiced concerns about the possible repercussions of becoming romantically involved with Carter. As was to be expected, Ridge used the rumors to further demonize Hope in his ongoing conflict with Brooke by claiming they were proof of her hidden agenda. Hope and Carter stuck to their plan for Forrester Creations in the face of difficulties and controversies. They were determined to disprove their critics because they saw the response as an inevitable result of questioning the existing quo. The business started to find its footing under their direction, and HFTF became a key component of its success. But there was always the question of whether their relationship could survive the strains of family drama and business politics. The fight for Forrester Creations was far from over as Ridge and Steffi planned their return and Brooke juggled her own conflicting allegiances. Ultimately, Hope and Carter's coup was a statement about the need for change and the bravery needed to bring about it, not merely a power grab. The existing order was upset by their acts, which made the Forrester family face difficult realities about their priorities and leadership. It remains to be seen if their plan for Forrester Creations will result in long-term prosperity or more unrest. There is little doubt that the drama is far from over and that the stakes have never been higher. The history of Forrester Creations, molded by the audacious choices of two people desperate to leave their imprint, is in jeopardy as alliances change and new conflicts arise. In an unexpected development at Forrester Creations, the patriarch of the distinguished family, Eric Forrester, showed that his age and experience could still outsmart the younger generation in unexpected ways. In an act that has been characterized as both crafty and desperate, Eric staged a fictitious health problem in order to coerce Carter Walton into undoing the LLC reorganization that had just changed the company's power dynamics. Despite being rife with dishonesty, the move was performed with accuracy and left the Forrester family and the company's stakeholders reeling from its fallout. Eric felt that his cunning was a result of necessity. After managing Forrester Creations for decades, Eric had become more and more frustrated with the continuous power battles and the breakdown of the family bond that had once underpinned their success. The last straw was the company's recent reorganization into a limited liability corporation, which was led by Carter Walton and Hope Logan. In addition to weakening the Forrester family's power, this choice caused an unusual amount of conflict among its members. The LLC was seen by Eric as a violation of the family's tradition and principles, not just a change in governance. Eric came up with a scheme to take advantage of Carter's close personal ties in an effort to restore order and preserve the company's legacy. Creating the appearance of a serious medical emergency was the first step in Eric's strategy. Eric was aware that Carter held him in high regard as a father figure and mentor, so any imagined danger to his safety would cause a powerful emotional reaction. Eric manufactured a string of incidents that alluded to his failing health with the assistance of a reliable confidant, who is said to be Donna Logan, whose devotion to him is steadfast. Key players, including Carter himself, witnessed them, which included contrived moments of weakness, fake medical reports, and fainting spells. Every incident was crafted to create a story of urgency and fragility that was almost impossible for anyone to doubt. The news of Eric's alleged health problem had a profound impact on Carter, who had always respected Eric's leadership and insight. Carter struggled with a strong sense of guilt and responsibility despite his recent rise to prominence and his attention to carrying out the LLC's restructuring plan. According to the information provided to him, Eric's condition seemed to get worse every day, leading to a dramatic incident where he collapsed in front of the board members at a meeting. In addition to confirming the idea that Eric's health was deteriorating, this open show of weakness prepared the ground for the next step of his strategy. When Eric asked for a private meeting with Carter and made an impassioned plea, his deception reached its zenith. Eric spoke shakily and with tears in his eyes as he described his worries about Forrester Creations' future and his conviction that the LLC structure was destroying the family. He talked about his decades-long commitment to the business and the sacrifices he made to make it become the force it is today. Eric's statements were deliberately selected to appeal to Carter's morals and feeling of devotion, portraying the LLC as a betrayal of everything the Forrester name stood for rather than as a sensible economic move. Carter started to falter as he struggled to balance his admiration for Eric with his dedication to the LLC. Eric took advantage of this chance to emphasize the value of family and the history they were tasked with preserving. Although effective on paper, he contended that the LLC's governance structure had created a detached, impersonal dynamic that ran counter to the company's basic principles. Eric presented his opposition to the LLC as a call for unity and a return to the values that had governed Forrester Creations for many years, rather than as a rejection of Carter's leadership. Eric's production of a final request, a document allegedly detailing his wishes for the business in the case of his death, marked a turning point. Carter later learned that Eric had written the document, which demanded that the LLC be dissolved immediately and that the company's previous governance structure be reinstated. Carter was put in an unworkable situation when Eric offered this desire as a final request. In addition to running the danger of offending Eric, refusing would paint Carter in a bad light as someone who would put power ahead of the welfare of the guy who had been a friend and mentor. As other members of the board and the Forrester family started to support Eric, Carter, who was already feeling confused, felt more and more alone. With their own goals and frustrations, Ridge, Steffi, and even Brooke joined Eric's cause, increasing the pressure on Carter to comply. Carter was left to deal with the growing opposition by himself since Hope Logan, his closest supporter in the LLC restructuring, was conspicuously missing from these talks. In the end, this seclusion and his own sense of moral duty caused Carter to re-evaluate his position. Carter abruptly announced at a company-wide meeting that he had decided to undo the LLC restructure and restore Forrester Creations' old governance structure. Those who knew Carter well realized that he was severely shaken by the events of the last several weeks, even if he presented his choice as a response to Eric's desires and a desire to honor the company's legacy. People who had opposed the LLC expressed satisfaction at the news, while others who had questioned Eric's intentions expressed suspicion, and those who had backed Carter's plan for the business expressed disappointment. The consequences of Eric's deceit were just as intricate as the scheme. Forrester Creations experienced a brief period of stability following the LLC's collapse, but the relationships within the organization were also permanently damaged. Once regarded as a rising star and a unifying force, Carter was now struggling with doubt and emotions of betrayal. His relationship with Hope, who felt devalued and abandoned, deteriorated, and his faith in Eric was shattered. Eric, however, came under fire for the moral ramifications of his conduct even though he was successful in reaching his objective. Some questioned whether his deceit had caused more harm than good, while others praised his guile and determination. The situation was a sobering reminder to the Forrester family of the extent Eric was prepared to go to in order to safeguard the business he had founded. It also brought attention to how brittle the bonds and allegiances that had long served as Forrester Creations' cornerstone were. As the dust settled, the company was at a crossroads, with its leaders juggling the deeper, more personal tensions that had been revealed in addition to the practical ramifications of the governance reform. Ultimately, Eric's fictitious health crisis served as a warning about the consequences of lying as well as a brilliant piece of manipulation. Although the LLC was successfully reversed and some semblance of the previous order was restored, trust, unity, and personal integrity were all sacrificed in the process. For Carter, the events served as a bitter reminder of the difficulties in juggling loyalty and ambition in leadership roles. For Eric, it demonstrated the resilience of strategy and guile despite emotional and physical fragility. Additionally, it was a turning point for Forrester Creations, highlighting the intricate relationship between history, business, and family, a dynamic that still shapes the company's narrative.